Here comes Kennedy. There will be a big roar for BK. Is he making his final appearance in the competition? Manly have not won a final match since 1997 when they beat the Roosters. Now the Dragons. Huge support crowd here for them. They've won their last four, and they've won their last four encounters against Manly. All the statistics between these two clubs this year remarkably alike. They both came home on 32 points. Dragons scored 96 tries, Manly scored 97. They let the same amount of tries in against each other, approximately. And Manly's differential was 41, the Dragons 38. 21 tries for that young fellow, Stewart. Gorrell in the number 9 shirt. Monahan, the number 9 for Manly. Crowd still filing into the ground. There's been some massive delays in traffic. Paul Simpkins blows time on. The second week of the finals underway. Stewart taking it and asking King to go back. King then on the first play of the ball of the game. The Eagles or the Dragons will not be here tomorrow. Monahan for Kennedy. And they come up with Timmins, beaten by Kennedy, and just flop the ball back to Kite, who joined the Eagles from the Dragons just last year. Kennedy then grits the teeth and hits them. Bickerstaff celebrating 100 first-grade games. Makes the tackle with the centre three-quarter replacement, Millard. Manly completing their first set. Ball going down into the haze, and Agama comes back.
And a couple of touches already for Brent Kite. Was left on the bench to start the game last week. Kylie Illawarra began. No surprise to see Des Hasler being Kite in. And Sean Timmins might have 17 on his back, but he's a starting player when it comes to finals footy.
Sims picked up and rolled over. Two-man tackled, Menzies and Watmo. Now Jason Riles, who was very, very good last weekend. 42 metres away from the Manly line. The Dragons with their first set. And Bailey takes it up towards the 30-metre line. Centre of the ground, coming to the western side for Barrett's right foot. Stewart under it. Not a lot of pressure. But then Hornby smashed him down, waiting for the player to take the ball. But Stewart did not even leave the ground. He had a mile of time. Kept his pins on the ground. Stewart then went to dummy half, and the ball has gone to Hicks, and it's a penalty first of the game to Manly. First of the game to Manly.
And it's not a penalty that you mind giving away as long as you don't make a procession of them. That's just your enthusiasm and eagerness on the back of this kick from Trent Barrett. Well taken by Brett Stewart. Never took his eye off the football. Hornby never took his eye off him.
Kite to the halfway. Manly have played grand finals on Aussie Stadium on 3 occasions, consecutive years, 95, 96, 97, and they won 1. Dragons have been here 3 times, 92, 93, 96 to Aussie. They've come up with a duck egg. Last premiership for the Dragons was 79. Burns will play it on the 30-metre line. Play back for Monahan to go left and away for Kennedy. Way out there at first receiver, the ball cutting out at least one of the Manly players down there. Here's Monahan inside the 20-metre line, and the Dragons extended. 5 gone now for Manly. They've got an opportunity with the kick from Alford. Oh, what a take! Cooper. Beautiful take. Left the ground from a standing start and flew high to bring it down. Here is Nagama with the ball. This was the take from the number 4, Cooper, without his representative centre three-quarter mate, Mark Gasnier. Young Millard at 21 comes into the side. He's with the football now. Came through juniors from Renown United, the club of Reg Gasnier, Mark Gasnier and Billy Smith, as Trent Barrett puts it on its end, and it's rolling over towards the touchline. And this is a good place to defend against Stewart. Give him as little room as you possibly can. Tackled down there by Morris.
And allowing the quick play the ball. Manly forwards taking a while to come back as Robertson goes centre field. Still 3 forwards in front of the ruck area. Matai out of dummy half.
The 11 Bickerstaff involved in the tackle together with Jason Riles as Matai plays the ball on the end of the second tackle. Here is Kite in a struggle.
He's been hurt in that tackle, Steve Matai. Doubled over on the 20-metre line. Hurt his hand last week. We'll get a report as Manly go into their 4th tackle.
Manly's number 1 centre at the moment is not well. There's a knock on against Burns for mine. It's advantage rule. Dragons with the ball. Hornby. He will play a 20 out eastern side. Here's a big chance for the Dragons. Timmins, it's gone over to Riles, and Riles basically takes a settler. 18 out, right in the middle of the park. They're running towards the southern end. They're running towards home. Now from Gorrell, it's gone to Barrett, and Barrett, well, that might be. No, it's not. He might have pulled out just in time. He looked like he was going behind Bickerstaff. Gorrell for Bailey. Bailey held 5 metres out from the line. King was one tackler. Kite was another. So was Monahan. Gorrell behind to Barrett. Barrett gets it away. The Dragons are close to the line. Played in the corner by Millard. From Morris, a dummy half. It's gone through. And it looks like Sean Timmins with the ball. Timmins in 17. Now for Barrett. Kennedy tries to put a shot on him. The kick is good. Manly clean it up. Diffused by Hicks.
Yeah, Click Greenshields was actually in front of the kicker. Didn't time his run at all well. A fairly quick restarts finds Stephen Menzies, who picks up 7 or 8 metres.
Orford switching it back across the ruck and finding Hicks out there. Tackle just inside 40. Andrew might just be able to tell us about Steve Matai.
Yeah, absolutely, Ray. Just gave the thumbs up to the trainer. It was an injury to the stomach, more or less, but he said he's okay to the trainer, so fine. The Manly players too tonight wearing black armbands, a mark of respect for Jessie Cleal, the mother of Noel, the recruitment officer at Manly and a great rugby league man, passed away sadly this afternoon.
Our sympathies go out there as Orford puts in a corkscrew kick. Stewart was hunting it down. Nagama brings it back.
It was West Tigers Friday night football. Brookvale scored on that occasion. That time the Dragons got them back in numbers. Nagama, a fortunate bounce into his arms.
Dragons then returning serve with Bailey. This was the incident. They were all onside. You might be able to make a case for a fraction of offside, but I'm not about to do that, and it didn't come off anyway. But it was absolutely a replica of what happened at Brookvale against the Tigers. As Barrett clears with an almighty kick down into the in goal, it'll go dead.
That's a real feature here of Aussie Stadium. The big long kicks down to that end of the field won't pull up. Carlton mid-man of the match competition, Rabbits.
Yes, Gus, and of course the numbers are 1902 559 189 and follow the prompts. And if you'd like to SMS the player's name, you do it to 19959 189, and that competition closes at 9:20 tonight. The Carlton mid man of the match competition for the viewers, and Kennedy is with it now.
Very little ball movement in the early stages of this game, Ray. I was down there earlier. The grass is actually long tonight and quite damp. Here's a chance for Manly down the short side. But the ball handling will be slow and difficult, and both sides have really reined in their expansive game, just heading it up.
Orford with a lovely ball across for Burns, and then Menzies out wide where he loves to patrol. He puts in a little kick. Greenshields is equal to it. Menzies just interrupt interrupting any thoughts that he may have had together with Paul Stevenson.
That was very good positional work there from Clint Greenshields. He had a lot of ground to make up. When Steve Menzies kicked the football, there was wide open spaces. But he did well as Matt Cooper again gets involved, takes it to the 20 or just shy of.
Menzies, as I said, he loves to work out wide. What a good tackle from Menzies. Could not have been on him at a better time. Sims on the end of it. Now, knock on ordered.
He was under the post, Matty Orford.
Oh, yeah. It could have been a try to the Dragons. Watch this big hit from Beaver Menzies. Right in the breadbasket. Stood him on his back. And look at the gap developing here. And Orford took the odds to it. Had he put Barrett in the hole there, he had 3 players in support and only the fullback to beat. But Orford got the hand in the way and probably should have taken it and scored 6 himself. That was a try bombed and a try bombed.
Stay on. Stay there.
For both teams.
Ball in. Out.
It's a double jeopardy. It's with Millard now, playing his 12th first grade game. He's inside the 40-metre line, his own end of the ground. Bailey takes it up and he puts the shoulder into Watmoe. It's Stephen Bell, the injured Manly centre. As I said, everything seems to balance out between the Dragons and the Eagles this year. Gasnier pulls out, so Stephen Bell does the same. As Barrett works across, and here's Bickerstaff taking a heavy tackle from Watmoe. Kennedy eventually had to clean up his mate's work 30 metres away from the Manly line. Gorrell to Hornby. Hornby for Riles, and Riles charges straight at Brent Kite, and Kite does the job on him. 20 out, still the centre of the ground. Now Barrett goes over, looking for young Morris. Up they go. Manly again have diffused it. Robertson this time, and another 20-metre restart.
They've scored a lot of tries off kicks in recent weeks, the Dragons. And the back 3. Here's a kick by Orford from the 20-metre tap, looking to find touch and get a scrum feed. Morris gets it back to Greenshields. The play's been foiled, and the Dragons are in possession. Orford makes the tackle.
So Greenshields plays the ball just outside the 30-metre line, and here's Morris with those long legs of his, those very fast legs, making ground very quickly. Now from Barrett, it's gone to Ryle. Short ball for Bailey. Bailey well and truly sandwiched by the defence. Menzies first man up there with Burns. Burns loves defence. Now Timmins working back into the ruck area. Gorrell again. Then for Hornby. And here's Ashton Sims out wide. That tackle might have been uppish. Yeah, Jason King has been penalised for a high tackle. Here it is on replay. Watch the 8. And it's come off the shoulder, bounced onto the Adams apple.
Dragons looking to go a couple of passes wide. Menzies had to come in. King on that occasion. Now Riles takes it inside the 20. Another good opportunity with plenty of tackles up their sleeve.
15 away from the line to the southern end. It's come from Barrett and gone away to Sean Timmins, and Timmins is put down 6 metres out from the line, held down by Kennedy and Orford. Then Gorrell shows it one way, gives it to another man, running in, it's Bailey! Bailey put down just a metre from the line, and Orford holding him down as long as possible. Gorrell goes back deepish to Barrett. He goes back to Hornby. Hornby away for Ashton Sims. And brilliant online defence by Manly. A feature against Newcastle, and they're calling on it again early tonight. Greenshields is with the ball on tackle 5. Slowish play the ball. Gorrell goes back for Barrett. Barrett puts in a definite kick. Over towards Robertson. It's gone in touch and goal. It'll be a 20-metre restart.
And it is a definite ploy to kick to Brett Morris's wing, and why not? Won a game against Brisbane up at Suncorp. Took a couple of those against the Roosters weeks ago. And Barrett knows how strong he is up high. Slow restart from Manly. They've been under pressure.
Chris Hicks playing in the centres tonight. Plays it inside the 30-metre line, and this is Lulawai with the ball in jumper number 16.
He's on for Jason Kingrey, who's limping off behind the dead ball line at the southern end of the field as Brent Kite, another galloping run, picks up good metres. There's King coming off in distress.
So Matai goes for a couple of paces before picking up Kennedy, and Kennedy gave the indication he was going to pass it back to Matai, but he was shut down by Millard and Gorrell. Now it's with Orford, a dummy to the left, and he goes out to the right to Burns, and Burns will be tackled on the 30-metre line, Dragons' end of the park. So played for Monahan now to hit the short side, and Orford puts in a little kick, and that is going to make the fullback play at it. Wonderful kick by Orford. Wonderful kick by the number 7 from Manly.
Beautifully weighted. Greenshields actually read it well. He was in good position to cover it, but Orford was still able to find a narrow space down the sideline, weighted into the in goal. Greenshields had to play at it before Stevenson got to him. Now some pressure for the Dragons defence. Matty John sideline.
Yeah, that's better from Matty Orford. Look, that little kick back at the 22, 2 or 3 minutes ago, they don't need to do that. It's high-risk football, not at this stage at 0-0. The Manly forwards' heads went down. They got put under pressure. I tell you the guy to watch in this centre 6, watch Brett Stewart just beyond the back of the rucks.
Manly on the carry back. King going up the tunnel. 40 metres away from the Dragons' line. To the right for Menzies. Menzies running into Cooper, and Hornby defending out fairly wide on that left side. Now it's Hicks away from dummy half and picking up Burns before Orford, and then Monahan, then Matai, and Matai is run down. 32 metres away from the line. Steve Matai playing it for Robertson to go around behind Kennedy, but there was no defence there, so no obstruction. This is Burns with the ball, and Timmins is with Burns. Timmins and Riles combine to stop the Manly 5/8. Then Monahan back for Orford. Orford puts a kick into Nagama's wing. Can Nagama get back? Yes, he can.
Yes.
Very good work by the number 2 for the Dragons.
He didn't get back on his first effort or his second. It was the third that got him into the field of play, as Greenshields picks up some tough metres as well. Here's Nagama again involved. Kick came early, but he read it well.
Nagama playing it for Gorrell to go. Oh, Riles has put it down, and here is Watmo up towards the 10-metre line. Gets over the top of one. Held eventually by Millard and Bailey, but there's a chance for Manly. They're on their last tackle, are they? No, it's knocked down. He was simply restarting the tackle count, indicating zeros.
Well, there's a perfect illustration of why Nathan Brown, I believe, has told Jason Riles not to worry about passing the football. Get to the line, get through the line, then think pass. Riles 10 out from his own line, shaped and lost control of the football.
Gorrell with it on the 40-metre line. Hornby for Riles, and Riles up towards Brent Kite, who makes the tackle. He debuted here in 2002, Kite, playing for St George Illawarra. Now Bailey, 7 or 8 metres into Manly's area. Then Hornby. Now Barrett. Barrett decides to run, tries to break the line. Kennedy hangs on, and Watmo. Both involved in the tackle on Barrett. Back for Hornby. And Hornby kicks it down into the southeastern corner. And again, Stewart able to leave the feet on the ground. Tackled inside 20. Tackled over there by Cooper. Brett Stewart, prolific young try scorer. Great predictions for him in his rugby league future. Played by Chris Hicks, and running as Stevenson. No changes made by the Dragons. 2 have been made by Des Hasler. 40 out from their own line, Manly. So Monahan kicks out of dummy half this time. Greenshields on a lengthy run back, but he will get back. They've been under some pressure down here, and Greenshields is able to embarrass a couple of Manly tacklers.
He's done very well. Mark Bryant out there now for Brent Kite. And Ray, Matt Head didn't come into the game last week against Brisbane until about the 50th minute. I think we'll see him tonight before half-time. I think Brown will be keen to get him out there before the break.
There's Matthew. Hornby for Gorrell. Gorrell for Bailey. Bailey at Kennedy, taken by Watmo. 40-metre line, and we are Dragons' end. Phil Gould.
Yeah, look, it's a totally different game plan here from the Dragons. I agree with Peter. Head may get an early entry, but they've completely got away from the expansive football they played against the Broncos last week. They're just hitting it up and kicking, looking to control field position. It's a very conservative game plan.
Second tackle then for Stevenson.
Double change for the Dragons. Cray and Poor out there now.
Andrew sideline.
Yeah, Jason King, the story there. They're checking for ligament damage to his left knee. They're still hopeful he will be back. He actually suffered the injury in the high tackle on Ashton Sims.
Well, they got the magic spray out there. That indicates that he'll be coming back.
He's sweet. The spray fixes everything. When they put the spray on, you're okay.
Watmo's pass might have gone forward, but it's gone to Matai. Allowed to go. Robertson is with the ball. And he cuts away off the western touchline to be tackled 40 away from the Dragons line. Matai for Orford. Orford kicks. Kennedy's onside on his left. But the kick is going down, and Nagama, lovely catch. Nice catch on the run. He's done a couple of beautiful things tonight, Wes Nagama. He will play it just outside his own 20-metre line. First of the sudden death round 2 playoffs. Dragons and Manly. Who will exit? Who will go tonight? Who will go tomorrow night when the Knights take on the Brisbane Broncos? 20 minutes down and no points in the game. Knights Broncos tomorrow night. Again live and exclusive. Here's Ben Cray. Cray comes to the last line and has pulled down 20 out. Stewart the tackler from dummy half Cooper. It's come away to Barrett. Shows it. Turns it in for Bickerstaff. Bickerstaff lays it back. Picked up by the Dragons. Morris will score. Morris will score. An unbelievable final pass from Greenshields.
Brilliant.
I can't quite believe that he did this. The number 1, Greenshields, for Morris to score.
What a brilliant pass. The referee wants to check the pickup and the final pass. Here's Bickerstaff, throws it out the back, off the legs, picks it up, scoops it, throws with the left hand, turns right to left, closes the eyes, clears the traffic and gets it out to his winger. What a brilliant pass. What a brilliant pass. Eyes shut, hands extended. Do your best, son.
6 tries in his last 5 games. He's now added the most important one. And Clint Greenshields, what a signing is for the French club Le Catalan next season. There's a video referee decision pending.
First points of the game, Dragons 4-0. Welcome back to our live coverage. Try scorer for the Dragons, Brett Morris, a product of junior football at Kiama Knights. Now, Gorrell from Albion Park. It's an all Illawarra try. It's certainly been converted by Gorrell. So the Dragons lead after 21 minutes, 6 points to 0.
2 very good defensive teams here tonight. Both sides have chanced their harms a little bit in the last few minutes, and this one close to the line on the last play. Miracle pass there from Greenshields, picks up the first score. But this is a game of attrition. Both sides battling it out in the middle, and then every now and then a little spray of talent on the edges just to test each other.
Justin Poor is the number 15 for the Dragons. And he absolutely relishes the tough stuff. Now King is back on the bench. There's the spray again. It's done the job. Cooper, little shimmy as he came away from dummy half. Camera's getting down. Right in amongst the play the ball for you, Bailey. Live coverage on 9. Right through the final series, ending on Sunday night, the first Sunday in October. Fabulous finals of September. Barrett reefs it down to Stewart. Right in the goal mouth. Comes out to the 10. And a ring of red and white around him.
He's got to do better than that, Trent Barrett. He's got to kick it to where they can compete, or he's got to find the ground and make Stewart move for it. Just simple catches like that gets the opposition fullback's confidence up, and you're no chance of getting the ball back.
He hasn't really tested Stewart at all tonight. Stewart, I've made the point, has not left the ground on any one of the occasions when a ball has been kicked high at him. So here is Manly now with Mark Bryant on in 17. Through for Orford, behind Kennedy. Menzies was thinking about a second man play when Watmo gave him a decoy, but he was smothered by Millard, who's doing a damn good job on that right side defence for Manly. Orford kicks down to Morris. 20 away from his own line, now to the 30.
He has done a good job.
It is, sorry.
He has done a good job. Millard is getting up very quickly, but if I was Manly, I would persevere. They've only got to make one mistake in the read, and there's plenty of room on the outside. Keep going there.
Nagama towards halfway. 17 and 16. Two of the replacements, Bryant and Lulawai, making the tackle before Justin Poore goes on a charge to the 40-metre line. Now it's with Barrett. Barrett goes across the face, picks up Millard. Millard on Matai. Matai makes the tackle 30 metres away. Again from the Manly line. They've had the better of territory. It's gone from Barrett and gone to Bailey, and Bailey takes on Watmo and Kennedy. And it's a strong run by Bailey. Played for Gorrell to go left for Barrett, and he puts a kick over into the southeastern corner. They go up. Ball goes back and dived on by Manly. Play on.
Right.
Burns has got it and played it. Menzies away. 18 out from his line.
Much better kick that Phil Gould was calling for. Plenty of bodies through there. It was a real contest. Fortunately, Manly came up with it.
Watmo, who suggested in a column this week that he hadn't been playing as well as he can play. Dunley is going on.
Now the Dragon defence need to know that when Dunley's on, he will go a lot from dummy half, and he will duck when he runs.
So Orford raking the ball back to Morris, the try scorer. The only try scorer in the game. After 25 minutes, Matty John sideline.
Yeah, just an observation, Raps. After that try to St George Illawarra, I tell you, a little bit of the energy's gone out of Manly's play. They're struggling mentally at the moment a little bit to get through this hump. They just got to grit their teeth and get through it.
Hornby then. Long and wide for Cooper, who loses his footing, and Burns jumps on him. Just a couple of metres on the Dragon side of halfway. Hornby finding Cray, who made a bust leading up to that try for Brett Morris. Now with Hornby at first and Barrett at second, and then he goes for the accelerator again. He's on his knees thinking about passing.
I love that play from Barrett. Dummy, dummy, go yourself, son.
Hornby then takes over as the kicker. Goes to Stewart, and Stewart, oh, he's made the mistake! And then Justin Poore. Now he's realised, the referee, there's an offside play here.
He's got Stephen Menzies for deliberately kicking the football back from an offside position, I think we'll find. Menzies knew the danger of the situation. There were plenty of red and white jerseys. Kick goes up from Hornby. The chasers are onside. Stewart looks to be well positioned, had time. Ball just moved at the end, and Stephen Menzies put the right boot out in front of Justin Poore. Cost his side 2. May have saved his side 4.
He took to the odds with Beaver. No more experienced player on the field. And he thought, I just don't want to be giving them possession here with 6 to go. The fullback was down. There was only a winger in support. There seemed to be plenty of white jerseys with the big red V in the area. He said, I'll give him 2. And that's all.
Gorrell to add 2 points to the Dragons' total. It'll take them to 8-0. Kick from Gorrell successful. Here's a break. Our audience is taking our finals coverage over in England, down through Europe, Papua New Guinea, live up in Darwin. Hello, Darwin. And down in New Zealand. And of course on replay on Fox here in Australia. Orford kicks off. And you've joined us back here at Aussie Stadium, which is a wonderful venue to watch rugby league at. You're sitting way up in the nest, way up in the heights of the Aussie Stadium, looking down at them. You can see the gaps opening up. Riles plays the ball. It is 8-0 in favour of St George Illawarra, and they will play the ball 8 metres on their own side of halfway. Menzies the tackler. The ball carrier was Ashton Sims, and now it's away for Justin Poor, who, as you came back, was marking the football, and I thought he might have got a penalty for a high shot. Here's Hornby kicking down in behind, and it's well weighted, and Stewart will have a job here. Brett Stewart, they pick him up and dump him. Line drop out for Manly.
Beautiful trace. Now, you kids at home, watch this centre and winger work together. Watch Nguama and Cooper chase on the kick, shoulder to shoulder. They'll run in unison. There they go, the pair of them, shoulder to shoulder. Not one man in front. They'll cut down all options on the fullback here. And when he looks up, there's no left foot step, no right foot step. He's got to go into him, and they'll just push him out. If one goes down and tries to be a hero, it gives Stewart a play. Two go down together, they pick him up and throw him over the sideline. Great defence.
Gee, it was a good kick too, wasn't it? Hornby kicked in between defenders. Not an easy kick at all, and he placed it beautifully as Justin Poor brings it forwards. He's had some carry since coming on.
Yeah. I made the point earlier, he loves a bit of tough work, this fellow, Justin Poor. You'd like to employ him. He's poor, but he's honest.
Aren't we all?
Dragons attacking after Cray played the ball. Gorrell went to Riles, and Riles runs straight at Bryant, and Mortmo comes in to complete the tackle. They're just 15 out. They go back deepish to Barrett to get the ball away for Justin Poor. And the big bloke will play the ball 5 metres away from the Manly line. He will play it back to Aaron Gorrell. Gorrell goes second man play out to Barrett. Riles has put it down. Menzies has got the ball. He loses the ball one-on-one. Taken off him by Barrett.
No advantage.
No advantage is the order.
What a beautiful tackle on Riles. Who was it? Menzies came up with the ball, but the big fella was charging towards the try line. Bang, Shane Dunley, the 14, down low, just cut him down like a big oak tree. Snapped his knees together and put him on the ground. Good stuff from a little man on a big man, close to the line.
Get in, Ben. Get in. Out.
Manly coming up with the scrum feed because Stephen Menzies didn't get any advantage. So Paul Simpkins getting it absolutely right. This is Paul Stevenson with the ball just outside the 20-metre line. And now it's with Mark Bryant out to the 30-metre line. Interchanges, 3 for the Dragons for Nathan Brown and 4 for Des Hasler. 40-metre line, centre ground Manly. Played there by Dunley. Burns for Kennedy. And Kennedy goes to Cray, and the big fella is able to flop it back down for Stewart, and then Orford, and then out for Brent Kite, who's back on for his second spell. He runs an arc. The ball bounces away to the winger out there. It should be Stevenson, and it is. He'll play the ball just inside the 30-metre line. Now from Hicks, it's gone into the hands of Burns, and Burns goes very high. It's a fair way out from the goal mouth. Kennedy got the ball, raked it back for Bickerstaff, and Bickerstaff to play it for the Dragons. Leaving their 10-metre line behind them is Morris. He's out to the 20, having a second dip. Tackler was Stewart, the fullback. So far, so good on this set for the Dragons. They're out to the 30-metre line.
Yeah, it's all dummy half running too. I say again, so different to the game plan they took in against the Broncos, which shows that coach Nathan Brown is altering their style just to suit the opposition they're playing. That's good coaching.
Barrett with a big kick.
40-20.
40-20 from Barrett.
Whoa!
He's taken a huge kick down the ground. It's just missed the corner post.
Well, the Manly player is claiming it actually went dead in goal. It was very close. Beautiful kick inside the 40, no problem. It skips, comes down to the corner post. One big bounce. You tell me. It nearly grazes the corner post. I think that's gone dead in goal.
I think the Manly bloke's right.
I don't think he can change the call. Let's have a look as it comes down, but it's so close.
Yep.
And it's such a huge call.
Is that benefit of the doubt, right?
Well, it's got to be benefit of the doubt.
I think a part of the ball
Okay,
becomes
20 metre
obscured
restart, boys. We'll check.
by the corner
No,
post.
we've got to change. 20-metre restart.
Oh! What a massive overturn of a call.
At least they've got it right. If it's there and available to get it right, why not get it right?
Did that touch?
I don't think it touched the corner post. What happens if it goes over the corner post, Rabbits? Does it extend up into the air?
The corner post is part of the dead goal, the dead in goal.
But does it have to touch it?
No.
Well, it didn't touch it.
Let me get back to this, will you? Menzies is with the ball. It goes to ground. Dragons had a dip. They come up with the ball. Ben Cray is with it now. 30 metres away from the Manly line. Can we save question time for just a little bit further down the track? Here's Barrett. Gorrell. Now for Hornby. Here's Paul. Just inside the 20-metre line. So here is Jason Riles. All he wants to do is get hold of that football and hang on to it. 33 and a half gone. And Justin Poor is bent over and bent backwards in the tackle. They're still only 5 metres away from the Manly line. Here's Barrett with a little kick. Bigger staff. It's gone back. It's play on. Morris gets another one. I think it's a try. I think it is a try. There's a lot of handball. But I think Morris might have got it.
Well, the referee has called to see if there was any interference. From our vantage point, it looked to be fairly sweet. Trent Barrett, a lovely little tip-off to Brett Morris to get his second at the end of it. And the kick took a wicked bounce for the Manly defenders. Young Morris still down. Chases well and truly onside. Comes off the hand of Orford now. Is he pushed out and denied an opportunity to get the football? That's what they're looking at. Whether I think it's Matt Bickerstaff maybe has interfered with Orford after Orford has touched it with his hand.
Well, there's no doubt he's run over the top of him. Orford gets a play on it. He's not to know that he hasn't got the ball, and he can't suddenly stop. He's going to run into him. It's brilliant play on the end of it. Manly have got every opportunity to stop the try and can't. Now, there is a push, there's no doubt about it. The linesman was pushing towards the action. There's a push, but I think in the average run of play, that's a fair challenge.
I'm okay with it. He's running into him.
Well, I think I'm okay with it too, but let me tell you, video referees do funny things when they see any indiscretion, and sometimes I believe it's had no effect on the play. And he could well rule no try penalty here, which I disagree with. But he's got the button, no try.
No try penalty.
Well, what a couple of huge decisions against the Dragons. This one was the second
That's a bad decision.
Hang on, mate.
to a 40-20 kick that was recalled as well.
That's a bad decision because in slow motion it looks a hell of a lot worse. In normal speed, he had nowhere else to go. That's a poor decision.
In a game like this, you're going to get collisions just like that. Andrew sideline.
Well, I think some Dragons fans might think it's not much difference to the interference last week. Ben Cray on Justin Hodges that led to the Danny Wicks no try. I mean, that's 2/100ths of a second, the difference between Bickerstaff making that challenge on Matt Orford and play on.
Orford taken by Bickerstaff and Poor. It is 8-0 in favour of St George Illawarra. And we are 5 minutes exactly out from half-time. Dunley. Bryant. 32 metres away from the Dragons line. Dunley for Orford. Orford to the air. And Greenshields. He just wobbled for a couple of seconds, but takes it safely out to the 10-metre line. Here's Cooper. Nagama now. Bouncing away from Dunley, taken by Kite and Watmo. Third tackle happening inside the 30-metre line. Riles. Bryant on the top of the tacklers with Dunley underneath. Now to Hornby. Hornby looking to find an opening. Close to half-time, 8-0 in favour of the Dragons. And a couple of narrow misses. That'll go dead from Barrett. It's not worrying, Trent, that he's putting it down there. It's all part of the game plan, one would think. They get their line set.
Well, even if they go dead, he wants to keep it up-tempo, Trent Barrett. Manly this season have only been kept scoreless in one half of football on the one occasion. That was by Brisbane back in round 16. They went on to lose that game. Nathan Brown will be very satisfied if his side goes in 8-0 in front, especially with the 0 next to the opposition.
Steve Maddow getting up, and he wants to go on with something with Ben Creagh. Well, that's stupid. Absolutely stupid, Steve Maddow. You've got the football, son. Now leave him alone. Get rid of your anger later. Burns is with it. Orford. Kite running along the halfway before linking up with Stewart, and Stewart is squashed into the ground by Bickerstaff and Barrett. Dunley passes back across the ruck to Watmo, to Matai, and Millard is up on top of him with Justin Paul. 5 gone now for Manly. Steve Matai in jumper number 4 for Manly. There's the kick away from Orford. And taken by Green Shields, and then a shoulder from Menzies. Penalty to the Dragons.
40 hill.
I think he's classified the second one as late.
And what a shame. Steve Menzies had done such a good job to rattle up the fullback. He is a great defender. You hardly ever see him come in for a shoulder charge, as Travis Burns ruled to have given away the penalty. But on that occasion, it was legitimate because he had a great shot on him. He blindsided him. And you know he's come up with a good shot when he adjusts the headgear. He's done it a few times in recent weeks.
Wait.
Jason Riles, it's like you when you sink a long puck, you just doff the cap. Not very often, but you doff the cap. Here's Paul. 9 metres his own side of the halfway. Gorrell in the 9, of course. The Dragons these days doing without Dean Young, or trying to do without Dean Young. So Aaron Gorrell playing extended football periods. Ben Creagh a couple of metres into Manly's area.
And again, I think that Nathan Brown would have been keen to get Matthew Head in, but he doesn't want to change it. Aaron Gorrell is going super out there. Why change a match plan if things are going along well for you? Last tackle now, 40 out. Ben Hornby again in position to kick.
Hornby had a look up, and then he had to try and get rid of the defender, which he managed to do. The kick not nearly as effective, and certainly not where he wanted to put it. And Stevenson is tackled 10 metres out from his line. Orford coming away from his red zone. In fact, deep inside the red zone. Matty John, sideline.
Yeah, Rabs, as we get towards half-time, I think Manly just need to start playing with a little bit more imagination. At half-time, if I was Desi Hasler, I'd move Steve Menzies to the left-hand side of the park and team him up with Matty Orford. At the moment, in attack, he's out on the right, and the right hand's just seen no ball.
You talk about them showing more imagination. Here they are doing that now as it goes out wide. Out to Hicks, and he gets it away to Stevenson. He throws it back in, and it's dived on by Poor. Poor to play the ball on halfway. 45 seconds of the half remaining. Danny Wicks is on in jumper number 14. Dragons have had 12% more possession. 56-44 is the halftime possession statistic. Gorrell to a flying Danny Wicks, who's tackled 20 away from the line.
Take a point.
And back they come to the middle for Hornby to find Justin Poor. Maybe, just maybe the shot. There it goes from Barrett, and Paul Simpkins says wide. So that will take us to the halftime break. St George Illawarra leading at half-time, 8-0. Hope you're enjoying it Friday night, wherever you are. There's quite a good crowd in here at the football stadium. I'm not about to tell you that it's jam-packed, but it's a live telecast, and the Dragons are leading the Eagles by 8-0 as we go into the second stanza with Jason Riles. Just inside his own 20-metre line, the big front row forward. From the Dragons, it's a penalty against Manly inside the 10.
Well, there's been very few of those awarded. And it was actually Mark Bryant starting next to him, got away to a false start and was caught a long way off as Barrett. Now we'll go into the dummy half roll that we spoke about before the game, allowing Matt Head into first receiver.
Head, 15 is poor. Centre of the ground, and he's 30 metres out. 8-0 in favour of the St George Illawarra Dragons with Bickerstaff. 100 first-grade games tonight. Barrett, Hornby gave him a decoy, poor. The second man around and back into the ruck. Barrett again to the short side for Hornby. Hornby's over. Hornby's in. Simpkins looked at him. Was going to point to the spot. Check with his touch judge.
He's only questioning the grounding, Ray. The outside defensive Manly moved up quickly on the outside. A concerned look from Ben Kennedy. That can be a telltale sign. And Ben Hornby short of the line there. Can't see the football now, but he's certainly over the line, so if he has got it onto the ground, it's a try. Anthony Watmough wrestling with him. The ball comes down short of the line. I think momentum takes him over.
If it has come down short, then there's a dead set attempt at a second play. And then does he get it down the second time? Well, he does. But I'm just wondering whether there might be a little hint of a double movement.
Well, you can't stop. Again, that's the thing. We're looking at it in slow motion. And that makes it look worse for Ben Hornby. But I think the ball ends up over the line in the tackle anyway. But they've had 2 strikes against them. Is it 3 strikes are out?
Let's see what they say this time. It's a try! Dragons have started the second half in the best possible way. 12-0.
Well,
Ben Hornby.
They moved up quickly on the outside. Ben Hornby goes to the line. Back Ben Kennedy was sliding across, and Anthony Watmough just wasn't up on his inside enough to close the hole. And then it was a one-on-one wrestle. And Hornby again, who's been superb tonight in a couple of different roles, gets over after they got down this end of the field from an early inside the 10 penalty.
Half his body ends up across the line. There was a little second movement, but I think his body was going to end up over the try line anyway. Good decision. Hornby opens the scoring in the second half.
I've got to say, Phil and Peter, the lines don't seem they just stand out.
The grass is very long down there tonight, Rabbits. I'm telling you, they've left the long cut on the grass. There's a real big cover of grass on there, and it's also very dewy. I don't think they've really marked this field again today.
8 in from touch. Matthew Head hits the upright, bounces away. 12-0 after 3 of the second half, Andrew Voss.
Oh, what a start to the second half. Matthew Head on at half-time. It is tactical. Aaron Gorrell is okay to return if required as we watch Ben Hornby going over again. Just on the Manly side of things, Jason King really struggling. There'll have to be doubt whether he'll be back now, struggling with that knee injury.
Nagama brings the kick-off back to 15 metres into the field of play. Barrett playing almost exclusively at number 9. Look at this run from Poor. Justin Poor, tremendous effort. Really jumped up to the plate. We talk about Bailey and Riles. This bloke is an unsung hero. Here's Ben Creagh who's really stretched out tonight. Now Riles up to the 30-metre line. 17 is Bryant. There's a Manly player hurt. It's Dunley. He's put his head in the wrong place. Now ahead, puts a kick down into the corner. It'll be marked by Stevenson. So Dunley assisted to his feet.
That was a bad option there from Matty Head. He could have rolled that along the ground and just brought up field position. Instead, putting it in the air like that has given Manly a cheap 20 metres out for the tap kick. You've really got to grind away in these finals and give the ball to the opposition where you want them to have it. Cheap metres, you just don't need it at this end of the year.
23 from 27, St George Illawarra, 14 from 19 for Manly. Those figures indicate a high-quality game. Possession at half-time was 12% in favour of the Dragons. It's gone out to about 18% now. Dunley to the 40-metre line, Dragons end. Kennedy for Orford, steps, stammers, halts it, pass has gone forward, advantage plays, and it's Cooper. Cooper tackled, 5 on his own side of halfway.
Well, that's good pressure on Matt Orford, but if he gets the option to throw the little pass off his shoulder when the opposition rush up quickly on the last tackle, the Dragons could be in some problems out wide there. If he could have found someone, the Dragons defenders had all rushed in and left space on the outside.
Very slow play the ball from Nagama. Hornby with Bickerstaff. He's still got the ball. Put him in the circus.
Miracle catch.
Head is with it now. Turns a little ball back inside for Paul, but that's not his go, Paul. You got to get him back, wind him up like a big jumbo. That's when he puts a dent in you. Hornby now back from Head to Cray. 12 metres out from the line. He looks like an athlete, doesn't he, Ben Cray? He looks like one right out of the box. Head, Hornby, kick, bad. Cooper will bat it back. No, he won't. He's going to take it to ground. Spews out from the tackle. Then it's kicked by Morris. And he's bringing it back to the first breach.
No wonder you're a bad fly. I wouldn't want to get onto a jumbo that you've got to wind up.
Matty Johns, take me out of this.
No problem, Rabs. The first 5 minutes in this second half demonstrated to me how important Matthew Head is to this St George Illawarra side. They look so much better. They look so composed. With Head in the side and firing, they can win the competition. Don't worry about that.
Well, it's another dimension. You and Phil Gould and Peter Sterling have talked about the other type of football we saw against the Broncos, and then in the first half here they've got 3 dimensions. With Head in the side, it's another one. This is Kites just outside the 30-metre line, playing it back to Monahan.
Ben Cray very dusty out there for the Dragons. Steve Menzies gets it on the outside to Maddai.
This is going to be a foot race if Maddai gets into the open. Tackled over there by Hornby. Hasn't he done some work in the opening part of the second half? Orford goes behind Bryant, goes out to Burns, goes on to Clyde. Clyde taken by 2 Dragon players. One of them was Cooper, the other was Cray. Orford for Burns, stops, props, and puts a purposeful kick down towards the uprights. And underneath it is Morris.
Ray, that was wonderful scrambling defence there by the Dragons. Maddai split them down the left-hand side of the field. Not only did they have to sprint back and be onside, they sprinted back, got onside, and then raced up and in on the next play to cut them off when Kite had people on the outside of him. Tremendous fitness and athleticism by the Dragons' backs.
Ball has gone across to Hornby, and Hornby on to Bickerstaff. And just adding to that, Phil, the bloke that marked the eventual kick from Burns was the right winger Morris. That's where Maddai made the break down the right side. So Morris, he must have covered a lot of ground to do the things he did. Here's Barrett. Barrett working up the middle. Gets a kick away. They come in, Manly. So does the Dragons, and Millard makes the tackle. Tackle is Robertson. Now it's Watmo.
That was unlucky for Barrett. He was forced to run on tackle 5, saw a gap, and actually ran nearly into the back of his own player, who was looking to chase a kick. Had to force a kick of his own.
Bryant tackled by Bickerstaff and Bailey. Monahan away for Orford, for Maddai. Maddai taken by Hornby. And Morris, he got the ball away. And Robertson is tackled on the far side of the ground. Tiny chance there for Manly. Orford for Kennedy. Oh! Cray was up and right in BK's face. Now Monahan kicks out of dummy half. Down to Nagama. Safe as a bank, this bloke, tonight.
That hit by Ben Cray on Ben Kennedy is a little bit of the old and new, isn't it? The old Warhouse Ben Kennedy, and the young up-and-comer Ben Cray just lined him up and give it to him. And Ben Kennedy just give him a wry little look when he got up and played the ball. Kabang! He'll get up and play the ball, and he gives Cray a real look in the eye as if to say, who was that? Oh, it was you.
Bailey, 12-0 in favour of St George Illawarra. Barrett kicking out of dummy half. Down to Stewart. Millard and Bickerstaff defending down the Dragons' right side. Tackled in opposition's 20 is horrific when you look at it from a Manly perspective.
Nice tackle there from Danny Wicks on a quick man in Michael Robertson. Every now and then the Dragons are rushing up, putting pressure on the attacking players from Manly, who are in a bunch at the moment.
Orford, late decision to go to the short side to Hicks. Halfway line, Cooper and Head. Head out on that left side for the Dragons in defence with Cooper. His Kite had to reach back to clutch it in. He's looking to pop a pass even now, but he's on his back eventually. Tackled by Jason Riles. Now it's Matt Orford. There's the corkscrew or the banana, and Big Bailey's done it again. That's what makes him one of the great front rowers.
When we talk about Shane Webke coming up with little plays like that, it reminds me of Glenn Lazarus. Just doing the little things to put themselves in the right position at the right time, and that's what Bailey did. Went back a metre, and that put him a metre in front of everybody else in getting to the football.
Jason Riles. Bailey, of course, end of the season purchase for the Gold Coast Titans. Hornby, dummies, tries to go. Still going. Tackled on the halfway by Orford. Now it's with Greenshields. Bailey's with him, so is Bickerstaff. Greenshields has gone through. He gets the ball away. Morris passes and Matai has got the ball. Penalty Manly.
Go one.
A little bit of over-enthusiasm at the back end of this has conceded a penalty, but it was beautiful football by young fella Greenshields. And this is the confidence that last year gave him, and he's come back a different player this year. The confidence to run himself on last play. Gets it to Morris, the young bloke gets it back. Good coverage from Maddai, good tackle. Second man come in to push him dead. And the referee didn't like it.
The second man had to stay out of it. It's a line dropout.
Yeah.
Jason Riles makes the tackle, and Brent Kite is slow to get up. One of Manly's top men.
Kennedy has left the field as well. Ray is Luke Williamson's first touch. It was an inauspicious one.
This Kite has been on his haunches. Kennedy is off. Mistake by Williamson.
They're going to have to dig deep here, Manly. Let me tell you, of the four semis last week, the Newcastle-Manly game was easily the most physical. Now, they've had longer to recover, but it was a brutal affair. Played at top pace with heavy defence. And you're just getting the feeling that Manly are starting to tire. They're struggling since the break to get back into their rhythm. And the Dragons have got a terrific opportunity here to put a big space on them. Kite dawdles to the scrum. Kennedy, the Warrior, goes to the sideline. Williamson comes up with a mistake. The pressure's on. This is finals football.
Ben Cray playing the ball just beyond the 20-metre line. Centre of the ground. Manly's end. Barrett for Head to Greenshields. And he's put down by Orford. 12 metres away from the Manly line. Similar margin in from the western touchline. Head, short ball for Riles. Jason tries to carry them to the try line. Riles will play it back to Barrett. Then it's gone to Head. And Head decided to have a go himself, but he's pulled down. They weren't having any part of it. King and Williamson. Bailey found himself a dummy half. Barrett away. Danny Wicks. Wicks will play it on 5. Tackle 5. Barrett. Head for Hornby. Hornby. Right foot. Morris is converging. Down to Manly. Down to Stewart. And he's in a touch. Penalty Manly.
This will be interesting. 1-on-1. Green Shields was involved in the previous penalty for pushing into the in-goal area. Brett Stewart gets close to the line. I think he's got every right to push him.
Of course he has. Of course he has. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Williamson.
Release!
There's movement there. He's entitled to keep pushing. Had he have left him on the ground and not touched him, it would have been a voluntary tackle anyway. So how does the kid win? The eyes of Ben Kennedy, whose career may well be closing down here, right now, at Aussie Stadium. Orford's kick. Oh, it's a beauty. I was about to say too big, but it's landed on a blade of grass just inside the western touchline.
I don't know if it's what he intended, but it's worked out okay. Nguama took the odds to it. It lands just inside.
Have a look at those Have a look at those markings,
Yeah.
viewers. You can hardly see them.
Not good enough.
Love to know what Steve Menzies is talking to Matt Orford about. They're the line markings we're talking about. Look, 12 is nothing. I know it's finals football, but in the modern game, when you've got attacking ability like Manly have got 12, they know that they can get that, given the right circumstances. If they get to chase any more, that's the problem. 16 and 18, that's the real problem. That's where we're at the moment. The Dragons looking to win this game with the next points. The Eagles looking to get close enough to snatch something late.
Bailey not happy with Simpkins. He thought he was entitled to a penalty there. Manly holding down too long. Played and come to the left side for Riles to hit them and put the ball on the ground for Barrett to dive on. So Barrett cleaning up. Header dummy half. Bailey the runner. And Bailey goes to the 40-metre line. Manly's in. 5 tackles gone against the Dragons. As the ball is put down the ground by a head. And finds the touchline without any dispute about corner posts and the like, and the imaginary line that goes up from any post.
But it just shows he learned from his last kick into that corner. Last time he floated it into the air, got them a cheap 20-metre tap. The crowd's finally got here across the crowd at Harbour Bridge. Dragons fans feel comfortable at 12-0. Let me tell you, the Manly fans are only 1 try away from being right back in this. Funny things happen in September.
Hicks.
Well, it's a reversal of last week, isn't it? The Eagles led by 12. Now they trail by 12 as Maddai has double tackled Millard and company. Hornby's out there helping.
His King catch and pass back to Williamson. And Williamson is tackled on the 30-metre line. His own end of the ground by Millard. Here is Lulawai. He will play it 8 metres short of halfway. Monaghan will running over towards Orford. Leaves Orford out of the equation. Bickerstaff is there. And then another Dragon came in and really dealt it to him, Bailey. Now for Orford to kick on halfway. It was a frail attempt by Ashton Sims. I thought for a moment late. Now Nagama. Oh, good work. Arm carrying the ball, didn't touch the ground. Cooper to halfway. Played for Barrett. Barrett for Riles. Straight ahead, Williamson and Lulawai and Watmo. They wait. They put him down. So Barrett thinking about a run. Sees the markers divided, loses the ball. Now they've got the ball back. Well, that's no advantage, Manly. It's got to come back. Loose head feed, Manly.
Some heavy contact there on Trent Barrett, trying to get out of dummy half up the middle of the ruck. Jason King and Luke Williamson. The impact forcing the ball out. The referee in good position. Barrett admonishes himself as Jason Riles comes to the bench. It's a good work rate, 26 tackles, 19 hit-ups.
Out.
The Eagles then battling to survive. Stevenson, rugby league's newest father, I do believe. Kylie Lulawai. Changes, 8 have been made by Nathan and 8 have been made by Des. Brown and Hasler. Brown, 3rd youngest non-playing coach ever. Played by King, Monaghan, Orford, Watmo, 28 metres away from the Dragons line. Tackled by Hornby, who's had a superb second half. Orford rifles it, Burns pushes it. Second man play, went through Menzies' legs, finished up with Hicks. And Hicks will play the ball. 38 away from the Dragons line to Orford's right foot. Over it goes in the direction of Brett Morris. He'll have to go high, and he takes it. He spins away again. Oh, good work, young man. Great play, young Morris, and tackle by Stewart.
What an outstanding young talent. He's really burst onto the scene this year, Brett Morris, the son of a former great player in Slippery, Steve Morris. He scores tries, he saves them, he leaps for the ball, and that time a magnificent defensive catch. What a young player.
Sims, Menzies got him and drove him. At no stage put him in a dangerous position. Here's Justin Poor in a dangerous position, heading for the ground on his back. Bang, whammo. Monaghan and Menzies peeling off some big ones tonight.
Menzies adjusted the headgear.
He just doffed the cap again, Pete, did he? Here is Stewart. 25 metres away from his own line. It's amazing the little idiosyncrasies that you pick up. Peter Sterling's noticed that Menzies, when he does something brilliant, he just adjusts the cap. Now, Stevenson, here's Menzies. He's entitled to adjust it. It was crooked. Wonderful man. Wonderful player. Tremendous personality. Played by King. Here is Monaghan going to Williamson. They're not really threatening them too much, although they keep pumping away to that left side. That's Manly's left side, where Mathai has done well this time. And it is Robertson who will play the ball, tackled by Hornby. They keep going down that side, Manly. Orford now with a big kick, Nagama under it, in the field of play. What was Greenshields doing? Was he trying to professionally shepherd Burns out of it? 12-0 at the hour mark. Dragons with Cooper now running an arc out to the 20-metre line. Greenshields, Ashton Sims, good run, trampling ahead. Played back for Head, then to Barrett. They're chopping and changing Head and Barrett. Bailey shrugs away one. King was embarrassed, he went in.
Nathan Brown looking for a bit of inspiration and experience for the final quarter of this game. Sean Timmins is out there as Brett Stewart allows it over his head. And it does find the dead ball line.
We'll take a break. Back in just a moment. This is Robertson, just inside the 30. We're just in a break here on our network in Australia. Back live at Aussie Stadium, and the battle goes on, and Ben Kennedy is about to come back into the game. Here is Greenshields, away from his 10, he's busted them again! He's gone down to the 40! Greenshields to the halfway! Wonderful run! Barrett runs across to Timmins. Timmins goes back into the middle. St. George Illawarra crowd calling for a penalty. Now the Dragons. Away it comes to Cooper. Well marked, well pulled down by Hicks. Nagama on the 20-metre line. Came to Lulaway and King and thought, you're the two blokes I'm looking for. Couldn't get through. Barrett, then Head, holds it back, goes to Hornby, floats it to Morris. Morris is close, back to Millard. Millard will score. Millard scores. Try to the Dragons. 16-0. Welcome back to Aussie Stadium. What a moment for young Millard, Daryl Millard in the side for Mark Gasnier, Peter.
Was there anyone under more pressure than that young man on screen? I think not. Beautifully constructed. Began with the Green Shields bust. Timmins into the ruck area. And then the cutout pass from Hornby. Both Robertson and Maddai looked like he'd had him wrapped up. Brett Morris and Millard. An astute buy for the Canterbury Bulldogs next year. May well have got the match winner. Still a lot of time on the clock, but the Dragons are on a roll. And young Morris, he is having a blinder.
What a wonderful story that is. Millard, 1996, ball boy for the St George Dragons in the year where they went to the grand final to be beaten by Manly. 10 years later, the ball boy is now wearing the great number 3 jersey and scores a try in a final here at Aussie Stadium. What a wonderful story.
Head, 10 in, 20 out. He's too wide. 16-0. There he is, young Daryl Millard.
Ray, we've had 65 minutes here tonight. The Dragons are yet to concede a point. And for the last 47 minutes last week, they didn't concede a point. Here's a magical moment for Millard. I make that 112 minutes of finals football for the Dragons without conceding a point. That's outstanding defence.
So was that catch from Ben Creagh, the short restart. He flew high, could have easily come down when he hit the ground, but he was able to hang on to it as the try scorer picks up a couple.
That passage of play that led to Millard's try again featured Brett Morris. When was the last man of the match award won by a winger?
Well, he's doing everything he can. I think this man's been the best on the field.
Hornby?
Ben Hornby. The pass to Morris was sensational.
Here's Barrett scooping it up. Here's Bailey. And Bailey has tackled Andrew sideline.
Yeah, just before that try was scored, Manly got Ben Kennedy back out there. They took off the 5'8" Travis Burns. Further to what Gus was saying.
Here's a chance, Andrew! There's another try for Cooper. They're going to the video referee. Cooper thinks he scored. Barrett thinks he scored. 20,000 people on the ground in red and white apparel. They think he scored.
Ashton Sims hopes he scored. What's going on? Last week, Willie Mason was kicking. Sonny Bill Williams was kicking. Luke Bailey. Ashton Sims has pushed a kick through for Matt Cooper.
I don't know about this.
We'll have another look at it. I think it's a knock-on.
That's in slow motion, super slow. Normal speed, it looks like a try. I think the left hand's on it. I think the left hand's on it.
I think the left hand might have left it. I think the left hand's left it and he's forced it with the wrist, but you've got to understand the ball is not on the ground when all that happens. I won't be surprised if they deny it.
It's a quick decision.
Try, benefit of the doubt. That's the order. Here's a break. Back in a moment. Cooper, try given. 120 first-grade games. He's played at the highest level. What about Ashton Sims? He's learned to poke one in behind them. And then a benefit of the doubt try to Matt Cooper. Something that I believe we should be seeing many, many more of.
Well, I'm happy to see it awarded, Ray. I've got no problem with it being awarded. I'm just not quite sure of what a benefit of the doubt is these days. As where's Nguama? Just puts 2 more nails in the coffin.
Wowee. Wowee. Nguama. They got 3 kickers now. Andrew, can you kick?
No. And with 12 minutes to go, the luxury for Nathan Brown. He can take Trent Barrett off the field. Gorrell goes back into action. Gus's stat. They're now touching on 150 minutes. They've scored 42-4 in finals footy.
Well, this is offside. If you're watching at home and you follow the Dragons, don't get overexcited. This is blatantly offside and has been ruled accordingly from the restart.
What they can get excited about, Rabbits, is that next week they'll go into the preliminary final and play the minor premiers, the Melbourne Storm. 12 minutes for Manly, I don't think is long enough to drag this back. And the Dragons are 1 win away from the big one against the minor premiers, the best team all year, the Melbourne Storm.
Lullaway, 5 metres away from the line. Monahan shows it to Orford, shows it to Kennedy. Then gets it away before being tackled. Williamson is with the ball. Taken down by Ben Cray. Here's Monahan to Orford. Orford tries to step Cooper, gets the ball away. You've got to try this now. And it's going to be played by Menzies. Way back down the ground. They're back to 25 metres out. And Hicks approaches the 20-metre line. A loss of 10 metres in ground over that passage of play for Manly. Cooper ducked under Kennedy, came to Monahan and is pulled down by Watmo.
That's a brilliant read by Matt Cooper. He's a left centre. By rights, he should have been 30 metres over on this side of the field, but he's been watching that screw kick back to the middle of the field all night, and as soon as he saw Stewart was chasing, he ran in there and got it. Tremendous centre play.
Here's Justin Poor. 10 changes Dragons, 9 changes Eagles. And the Eagles will be chancing their arm now. We've just gone past the 10-minute mark. Of course, the Dragons, they will not breathe easy until they get across that hurdle of next weekend. That's where they fell last time. They came to the last and they spilt their lollies along with Parramatta. It looks like they're going to get another chance to go over the big sticks next weekend on Saturday night. Stevenson, 20 away. Monahan for Kennedy. The end of a career seems apparent. Monahan, this time for Lullaway. Not only apparent, but imminent was probably the word I was looking for. Orford turning it in for Watmo. 42 metres away from the Dragons line. Monahan again. A kick from Orford. He's looking for a little chance behind the play. Oh, what about Bailey? Bull Bailey, you can't do that if you want to belong to the front rowers club.
He was a bit embarrassed about that one. It was pretty good, wasn't it?
Oh, Peter, I just love the way he and Webke play the game. They're so athletic. And you mentioned Glenn Lazarus. How good was he?
Oh.
Now the Dragons, they take it inside the 40. Bailey.
Michael Searle and co would be smiling from ear to ear. As Ashton Sims, short ball. Ben Cray up the middle.
20-metre line underneath him. Played back for Timmins. Then for Head. Now for Hornby. Kicks in behind. Morris is flying. Oh, popped his nose out in time.
One of the most impressive things about the Dragons' win last week over the Broncos was when they had the game wrapped up, they kept the foot on the pedal. They kept their knee on the opposition's throat. The Dragons tonight, as Bailey comes to the sideline, what a monumental performance he's put in already in this final series, leading from the front. Manly try the short kick-off. Dragons immediately on the attack. But the Dragons remain tidy in all their work.
From Cray, it's come to Timmins. Sean Timmins to play at the metre from the line. Danny Wicks is thinking about a big charge. Here he comes, hits them, goes over the top of them, can't get it down.
Hold up. On 3.
Held up is the order. Third play. Back to the 10. Front foot, back foot, everything behind the line, boys. Remember the ruling. Now it's come away from the dummy half to Hornby and Hornby to Cray, and Cray goes at Illawarra and Ben Kennedy. Gorrell is back. Now Timmins goes decoying away to the blind side. They come open. They come open. And head is rifled a pass. Greenshields had no chance of catching it. It was like a sniper's bullet. I don't think it was meant for Greenshields. Bang. Aussie Stadium, the venue tonight, as it will be tomorrow night. 30,000, almost 31,000 here. Manly v St George Illawarra. 22-0 in favour of the Dragons. And tomorrow night, the Knights play Brisbane. You'll see it all again live. We'll do it again from here at Aussie tomorrow night.
Less than 31,000 fans here tonight. As you see the telecast time for tomorrow evening. Another thing the Dragons have been able to do is send plenty of the Manly supporters home early. Their first priority was to keep them quiet. The second, to send them home. They've achieved both. The Steve Menzies, beautiful ball from Matt Orford. He finds on the outside Chris Hicks.
Hicks is able to free himself from one. Then unloads, but the Dragons have got the ball. And Ashton Sims has tackled centimetres in from the sideline. And that too was a big, big play by a big man. Dying stages of the game, but he found enough energy to get there and grab the opportunity. It is with Hornby now. 35 metres away from the Manly line. 22-0 is the score. And 5 minutes of the game to go. The Dragons stamping their authority. Head with a little kick and beautifully cleaned up by Stevenson, I think. Yes. What more? Well, it's an impossible task for Manly now.
The Dragons might have won a grand final by that scoreline, Ray. Back about 30 years, I think.
St George, of course, the winners of 16 premierships, or 15 premierships. The last time they won was in 1979. Kennedy back for Menzies. Menzies back for Stewart. Stewart back for Kite. But Manly, I understand what they're trying to do, and they're trying to grab every opportunity and keep the ball alive, but they're losing ground while in possession. Oh, gee, Orford was taken out by Cray. I didn't see anything untoward. Here is Morris. Morris steps. Morris for the corner. He's going to make it. Brett Morris scores and caps a wonderful final. What a night for Brett Morris. What a night for Slippery, the old man. Sit down, fella. Sit down, Stephen. Leave it to the kid.
I think we might go back to have a look at the Orford hit before this is awarded. I think the chasers on the outside, led by Steve Maddai, were offside. No, they're fine. Let's have a look. Ben Craig coming in. No, there's no problem with that at all. No problem at all. He's coming in. The ball leaves momentarily before the impact. wasn't high, it wasn't illegal. And 22 should become 26 and possibly 28.
Brett Morris has got his second try of the night. Welcome back. The dying stages of Manly v St George Illawarra. Brett Morris has got 2. Should have probably been 3. Gorrell from the sideline. They've used 3 kickers. Aaron Gorrell. That looks good. He's got it. Dragons pulverising Manly. 28 points to nothing. Matthew Johns.
Yeah, what about the Dragons? They're hot at the moment. Phil Gould touched on it. I can't wait for next week. The Storm versus the Dragons. How exciting is that going to be? What about some of the matchups? Cameron Smith, Greg Inglis, Billy Slater against Head, Hornby and Barrett. And I wonder about Nathan Brown. Will he be tempted to start Matthew Head? A lot of things to ponder.
As I said earlier, Nathan has got so many dimensions that he can go to. But I'm just getting the feeling we're going to, one way or other, be watching 2 grand finals in consecutive weeks. It's been mouth-watering watching the Dragons improve. It's been wonderful to watch Melbourne do what they've done, but now they're going to have to face off 8 days before grand final day. Kick across the top, and Stewart is taken down by Nagama. The red and white wingers, they've been very, very good. Nagama and Morris, they remind me, with their performances tonight, of the aid that Takiri and Sailor were for the Brisbane Broncos. The young coach. Third youngest non-playing coach in rugby league history, Nathan Brown. 3 grand finals he played in, and 3 times he came in second. Mary McGregor, a great player himself from the Illawarra. Dying seconds of the first final of week 2. Sudden death football. One of them has to go. One of them had to go. It is going to be Manly, and that is very sad, particularly when one thinks that it's the end of a career for Ben Kennedy. He has been a tower of strength. One of the best back rowers ever. It is full time. It is full time. Manly, they leave the competition. The Dragons continue. They're looking awesome. They are looking like a team ready to take on Melbourne for the right to go to the grand final. He's got them primed beautifully. There's BK, the big number 13. He leaves us with some wonderful memories. I saw him playing in Canberra many years ago when he came over from rugby, and I thought then he would go all the way, and for once I was right. Andrew Voss out in the centre.